Good day, YouTube. Heart to heart with the Rhino time. Yeah, heart to heart with the Rhino time. I don't do a lot of these, as most of you know. I do them usually when I need to vent or talk or express things that I can't normally do. And really, this is stuff that I don't even fully know what's going on with, but I have no one to talk to, really. So you guys get to be my ears, even though you can't talk back because you're on. Well, you can type back, but you can't talk back because you're on the other side of a computer screen. Now, as most of you know, I do have a issue called borderline personality disorder, which is partially like bipolar. It's quite akin, but it isn't a chemical imbalance, so it's harder to treat. You can't just take a pill to control it. And I've done a good deal of work controlling it, but I mean, there are days that I go from being normal to being furiously angry all the time, or stab myself in the wrist depressed, and that did come out bad. But I mean, it basically is the teeter-totter. You go from either being, well, when you're being affected by it, you could either be suicidally depressed or you could be furiously angry, and it makes it very hard to live with somebody like that. And I do understand that, and I do credit my wife for putting up with me like she has. As a lot of you know, we are waiting on our third child. We're expecting our third child in January, our second boy, and as excited as I am very fearful too, because of the way my disorder can affect me. I mean, I've never done anything to my kids or my wife. I never would, but it does make it hard to live with me, and I do want to end the cycle that has been both sides of my family up until now. It's the reason why it's hard for me to be a dad, why I never wanted kids anyway, because I didn't think I could get over what was done to me when I was growing up. I didn't think I could get over the things that happened, or the triggers I have, and I've gotten over some of them, but I don't want my kids to have the anger I have. I don't want my kids to have any chance of having the same issues I have. That being said, recently I was told that my wife doesn't love me anymore and isn't happy and doesn't want to be with me. Now, is that her hormones talking, or is that just the way it is? I don't know. Because she said that to me, and then like 2 days later, everything was fine. But once that's been said, it's an issue. It would be an issue for anyone normally, but for me, it's an issue too. That's now basically starting a spiral of those exact feelings happening over and over again. It's basically made my BPD just spiral. I did have it in control. I had basically one week a year that I had to be alone, and it's when a lot of things happen. A lot of my stuff circles around my family, and not my wife and kids, but my family growing up, and a lot of my triggers reside within them as well. So that 1 week a year is the worst week for me. I usually end up having to take a leave from work, or book it off as vacation, and just hide myself away for the week. I don't do BDU that week. I don't do anything really. I don't even really eat all that much. I kind of veg. I sit in a chair and just look at a TV for most of the week, and completely remove myself from the world. And it's not a healthy thing to do, but it's the only way I have right now of coping during that week. And it's the only way I have of keeping my family sane during that week. But I'm getting to that point normally now because of that being said to me, and then basically that being said to me and her not actually leaving, like staying around and pretending nothing happened and trying to go on like she never said it. And I don't know if I can accept it. I probably can't. I don't know if I should accept it. I probably shouldn't. But at the same time, I rely on her to an extent. I rely on this family unit to an extent to keep me from just going off the deep end. I mean, it's the reason I go to work is to provide for my family. It's then moving past that, for the last 3 months, I've been having pains down my left side, below my rib cage. I've been saying under my rib cage at first when I was talking to doctors and stuff. It made them think it was under the rib cage, but it's below the rib cage, between the hip and the rib cage. And at first I thought I had just pulled something. I mean, I move kegs and stuff at work all the time, so I thought I had just pulled things. But now we're basically 3 months later, and the pain is not only there when I bend or stretch anymore, it's there basically constantly. And fuck, I couldn't even have sex anymore at one point. Like, I couldn't thrust. I know it's the weirdest thing to say, but I couldn't thrust. I couldn't do anything. And I finally went to the doctor. And I went to the doctor and we discussed it. And the first thing she said to me is, well, you used to be a wrestler and a football player and all that. Have you ever broken your ribs? And I said, yeah, not broken them. I've fractured them. She goes, well, does that feel anything like it? I go, no, not at all. So, okay, well, let's check it out. And she basically was like punching me in the rib cage, a little African lady punching me in the rib cage. And she lays me on my back and she goes, okay, I'm gonna check your floating ribs. And she basically grabbed my floating rib and just started shaking it around. She's like, does that hurt? I go, it doesn't hurt, but it's not fucking nice. And she just laughs at me and I'm like, can you? There's fucking fruit flies down here. There's fucking, I don't even know, my kids or my wife must have something rotting down here, because other than laundry on the floor, there's nothing down here that I've brought down. There's no food or anything down here that I've personally brought down. Or it could have gone, well, actually, that's a full-on fly. That's not a fruit fly. That's a full baby. But anyway, there are fruit flies down here. There must be something rotting somewhere. I'm going to have to start searching. My kids probably left a fucking apple core or something under the bed or something. But the fly probably got in because I've had all the windows open, and I found out after I opened all the windows and left them open for a night to air out the basement, because we did have a really bad rainstorm, and I found out I have one new spot I have to fix on that wall. So there was a little bit of a mildewy smell, so I had all the windows open. I found out afterwards that my kids have broken the fucking screens throughout the summer. So I probably have some very fancy spiders down here and a lot of flies now, because my backyard's full of hobo spiders at the moment. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so she punches me in the ribs a couple times, moves my floating rib around, and she gives me the one knuckle into the kidneys just to check if those are the problem. And it wasn't any of those, so she sent me for testing. I had 9 vials of blood taken. It did cost a little bit of money too. Basically, I have another week to wait for results. I did do an MRI and a ultrasound on Saturday because they wanted to. Well, the ultrasound was to check out my organs, and the MRI was to rule out the possibility of a infection in my rib cage. From what she's told me, I have a chance of 6 things. So I mean, 2 of them are good, 4 of them not so good. And I mean, I'm a pessimist, so I've been thinking that the worst. But yeah, she basically was testing me for pancreatic cancer or pancreatitis, leukemia, kidney disease. What's that? That's 4. The infection in the rib cage, and then just snapped muscles or something in the abdominal cavity. So I'm hoping it's that. That or the infection. Though the infection would probably take a PICC line, and I'd be off work anyway, and who knows what I'll do if I'm off work. But yeah, when she told me the list, I kind of laughed at her, and she said, "What's so funny?" I go, "Well, it can't be leukemia." And she's like, "Well, why do you say that? You do have a history of it in your family and everything." And I go, "Yeah, I do, but every single person I've ever known that's had that has lost a lot of weight, and I'm a fat bastard." And yeah, the other ones do worry me a little bit. So yeah, I've had some great times in the last week and a half, and I know there's a lot of worse people off out there, and all that. I'm stressed out about everything. I have a kid coming, like I said. We weren't supposed to have another child. I was stressing out about buying everything I needed to buy. We still need a bunch of shit. I've actually been able to pick up a lot of things, but I still need to find a bunch of shit for another baby. I don't even know where the fuck I'm putting the baby in the house yet. We still haven't figured that out. Well, I don't even know if she's going to be here come that time. Then I'm stressing out about bills because work is getting slower. Things are the way they are. Who knows what's going to happen? Stressing out about lots of things, to be honest. Then I have the medical stuff. I have because of what was said to me by the wife, I've been basically on the downswing of my wheel of emotions thanks to my BPD. And I mean, this isn't a pity party. Don't think it is, because anytime I talk, and that's the worst thing. If I talk to my wife about how I'm feeling or why I'm feeling it, that's what I get told is stop with your pity party. And I'm, really? I can't take medication. My way of getting through things is discussing it and talking about it. I'm sorry that bothers you. I'm sorry. Like, it's just the way it is. And yeah. So all that's going on. That's where I've been lately. I've been, I haven't even really, usually by now I basically have my beer festival set up for May, and I haven't really done anything on it yet. I've done the first steps, and that's basically booking the date with the venue and passing the date on to the township, because I don't have the application papers yet. They don't come out until the end of October. And that's it. Usually I have everything done, though. I have all my planning done. I have my maps done. I have all the groundwork for everything done, and then it just takes me a few minutes a day of work to get it going. I haven't even written up my vendor proposals. I haven't written my contracts. I haven't done anything yet. And all of this is basically why. There's a lot of things just weighing down on me right now, and I'm starting to chip. I mean, most people that don't watch my channel all the time and don't see the heart to hearts don't even know that this stuff is me, and that's perfectly fine. You don't need to know all that about me, but I mean, I'm starting to feel the chips of the armor. Well, I'm starting to feel chips in the armor, shall I say, and I'm worried. I'm worried about having a breakdown. I'm too old for that. I have too much to lose, both family, career, and everything wise, basically, if that happens. Yeah. So, if you see me at my place of business, because I know some of you do, and if you've watched this video and I'm not the most outgoing when you talk to me, there is a reason. There's a lot more going on in my mind than just hey, you recognize me, awesome. Yeah, I'm not fully here. I'm kind of just going through the motions at the moment. Until I get my results back from my doctor, I'm just because once I find out with that, I can at least figure out what I'm doing with everything else. But I mean, and it's the worst thing to say. It's the worst thing to say. But my biggest worry with my wife leaving me is just being alone again. I didn't marry her only to not be alone. I married her because I loved her, and I thought she was the one that was going to get me out of some of the things that my past made me have. And as of right now, it looks like that might have been wrong. But when I started dating her, that's when I was in shape. I was somewhat happy. I was attractive to people, shall we say. And now I'm a fat blob that's gonna have fucking 3 kids that I'm supporting while not with her. So basically, my thought on her leaving is there's a lot of things to go through, but my baseline, my final thought is, wow, you waited until I was like this before you dumped me off. It just makes me feel broken. Like, doesn't matter what a lady looks like. She'll be able to find a guy no matter what. And that sounds mean. I mean, I think my wife is very attractive. I do love her and all that. But I'm just saying, when she leaves me, it doesn't matter that she has 3 kids. It doesn't matter that she might not be in the best shape because she's had 3 kids. She'll be able to find another man lickety split. I'll have the financial responsibility of 3 kids as well as all my own financial responsibilities. I will have the weight I have. I will have the blindness. I will have the BPD. I'll have a lot of things going against me when if I end up back on the market. Or I don't even know. Should I go back on the market? Should I forgive her and just do the same thing she's doing and forget it was said? Or should I just force her and the kids out? I mean, if I keep her here, if I just let her pretend that nothing was said, that nothing happened, can I ever actually be happy with my condition and knowing and never being able to forget what was said to me? I don't know. I don't know. And I haven't told her about what I'm going through medically. I've been getting a buddy of mine to take me to the doctors because I don't want her to only stay because she thinks I'm sick, or only stay because I am sick, if that's what it comes down to. I won't tell her any of it until a decision's been made about what's going on. You know what? I've blabbered on for like 17 minutes. I don't think any of you are going to watch this long, so I'm sorry. I'm going to get the TLDW, which is fine. It's fine. Bye, guys.